The massive UES Thermopylae floated silently in Earth's orbit, its polished hull catching rays of sunlight that made it gleam like a jewel against the backdrop of stars. The ship represented humanity's finest achievement in space technology, though its true capabilities remained hidden beneath its elegant exterior. Captain Han Binley adjusted his crisp blue uniform and took a deep breath as the bridge crew prepared for their important visitors. This would be humanity's first formal inspection by the Galactic Council, and every detail needed to be perfect. The ship's systems hummed quietly around them, a sound that had become as natural as breathing to the seasoned crew. The air on the bridge shimmered with a soft blue light as the alien delegation began to materialize. First came their security detail, tall beings with metallic scales that caught the light. Then appeared the diplomats themselves. The council representatives were even more striking in person than in the briefing materials. Their iridescent skin shifted colors like oil on water, and their movements held a fluid grace that made them seem almost ethereal. Lieutenant Suji Park maintained her professional composure at the tactical station, though her fingers tightened slightly on her console. She had spent months preparing for this moment, ensuring every system was operating at peak efficiency. Like many of the crew, she had seen the reports about how the Council viewed younger species, often with a mixture of amusement and condescension. Ambassador Kill, the lead delegate, stepped forward. Their height made them tower over even the tallest humans present, and their four eyes blinked in an unsettling rhythm as they surveyed the bridge. "Your vessel's design is interesting," they said, their universal translator giving their words a musical quality. "Though perhaps more basic than we anticipated." Captain Lee bowed slightly, a gesture of respect that did not diminish his quiet confidence. "Welcome aboard the Thermopylae. We're honored to host representatives of the Galactic Council." His voice carried clearly across the bridge, steady and assured. "We look forward to sharing our achievements with you." The other delegates spread out across the bridge, their long robes swishing against the deck plating. Their expressions were difficult to read, but their body language suggested polite dismissal. One of them ran a scanning device over a nearby console, not bothering to hide their actions. "Captain," said Ambassador Kell, "our records indicate your species achieved faster than light travel merely 50 years ago. Most races at this stage of development are still struggling with basic spatial mechanics. Yet you claim to have built a battleship worthy of Council inspection." Suji and Hanbin exchanged a knowing look. This was exactly the reaction they had expected. The lieutenant's console quietly displayed the ship's true capabilities. Shield strengths that would surprise even the most advanced Council worlds, weapon systems that integrated technologies in ways the aliens had never considered, and engines that pushed the boundaries of what was thought possible. "We may be young," Captain Lee responded, "but humanity has always been quick to learn. Perhaps you would like to begin the tour. We have prepared a comprehensive demonstration of our capabilities." A younger delegate near the back of the group made a sound that might have been a laugh. "Capabilities? Your power signatures barely register compared to our civilian vessels." The delegate's skin flushed a deep purple, showing their amusement. The bridge crew continued their duties, apparently unaffected by the delegate's subtle jabs. They had trained for months for this inspection, and each officer knew their role perfectly. Through the forward view screen, Earth turned slowly below them, clouds swirling across its blue surface. "If you'll follow me," Captain Lee said, gesturing toward the bridge exit, "we'll begin with our engineering section. I believe you'll find our approach to technology integration enlightening." There was something in his tone, not quite smugness, but a quiet certainty that made Ambassador Kell tilt their head in curiosity. As the delegation moved to follow the captain, Lieutenant Park activated a series of hidden protocols in her console. Throughout the massive ship, systems that had been running in low-power mode began to wake up, though nothing showed on the delegate scanners. The Thermopylae had many secrets, and humanity was about to show the galaxy that appearances could be deceiving. The delegates filed out of the bridge, their iridescent forms creating a rainbow of shifting colors in the corridor's lighting. As they left, Suji allowed herself a small smile. She knew what was coming, the carefully planned reveals, the gradual demonstration of systems that would challenge everything the Council thought they knew about human capabilities. This was just the beginning, and the aliens' assumptions about humanity were about to change forever. Commander Jae-ho Kim led the alien delegation through the gleaming corridors of the Thermopyla's engineering section. The engine core pulsed with a soft blue light, its steady rhythm echoing the heartbeat of the massive ship. The alien's iridescent skin reflected the glow, creating dancing patterns on the polished walls. "This is our primary engineering control center," Jae-ho explained, his voice carrying a note of pride as he gestured to the sprawling array of systems before them. The room stretched 3 decks high, filled with humming equipment and holographic displays that tracked thousands of operations simultaneously. Technical observer Mira moved closer to one of the main control panels, their 4 eyes widening slightly as they studied the readouts. The other delegates spread out across the room, their earlier dismissive attitudes giving way to genuine curiosity. Ambassador Kell remained near Jae-ho, watching everything with careful attention. "You'll notice our gravitational drive system," Jae-ho continued, bringing up a detailed hologram of the engine core. "We've made some modifications to the standard design." The hologram showed layers of interconnected systems, each one flowing smoothly into the next in ways that made several of the alien engineers exchange meaningful glances. "This can't be right," Mira said, their skin shifting to a deep blue of concentration. "You've somehow linked the thermal management systems directly into the gravitational field matrix. That should create dangerous feedback loops." They paused, studying the readouts more closely. "But it's not. It's actually improving efficiency by 30%. Jae-ho smiled. "Humans have always been good at finding unexpected solutions. We discovered that the heat generated by the drive could be channeled back into the system, creating a partial closed loop. It took some trial and error to get it right." One of the younger delegates moved to another station, their long fingers dancing over the controls. "The interface response time is remarkable. How did you achieve this level of integration?" "That's another interesting story," Jae-ho said, walking over to join them. "We found that traditional computer systems weren't quite fast enough for our needs, so we developed a new type of quantum neural interface that works more like the human brain. It can process multiple streams of data simultaneously and adapt to new situations in real time." Ambassador Kell's skin rippled with patterns that suggested deep thought. "Your species has taken technologies from various council worlds and combined them in ways we never considered. Most young races simply copy what they're given." Jae-ho led them to the next section, where the ship's massive power distribution system spread out before them like a glowing spider web. "We believe in learning from everyone we can. Each species has different strengths, different ways of thinking. By studying them all, we often find new possibilities that others might have missed." The delegation gathered around a central display, showing the ship's cooling system. Instead of traditional radiation arrays, the Thermopyla used a complex network of energy recycling systems that captured and repurposed what would normally be waste heat. The aliens' expressions showed increasing respect as they began to understand the elegance of the design. "Look at this," one of the engineers said, pointing to a particular subsystem. "They're using modified Centaurian phase technology combined with Regelian energy matrices. The efficiency ratings are off the scale." Jae-ho nodded. "We found that different technologies often complement each other in unexpected ways. It's like cooking. Sometimes combining unusual ingredients creates something better than the sum of its parts." The aliens' universal translators took a moment to process the cooking analogy, but understanding dawned in their expressions. Humanity's approach to technology suddenly made more sense to them. It wasn't just about using advanced systems, but about finding new ways to make them work together. "Your AI interfaces are particularly impressive," Mira noted, studying another display. "The response times suggest a level of integration we wouldn't have thought possible for your level of development." "We've always had a special interest in artificial intelligence," Jaiho explained. But we approach it differently than most species. Instead of trying to create completely independent systems, we focus on human-AI cooperation. The results have been quite successful. As if to demonstrate his point, a holographic interface appeared nearby, displaying a complex series of power adjustments that the ship's systems had automatically made to optimize performance. The changes were so subtle and well coordinated that several of the alien engineers made sounds of appreciation. Ambassador Kell moved closer to Jaiho, their voice lower than before. I begin to understand why your species has advanced so quickly. You don't just use technology, you reimagine it. This ship is far more sophisticated than initial scans suggested. Jaiho's expression remained professional, but there was a glimmer of satisfaction in his eyes. We still have much to show you, Ambassador. This is just the beginning of what the Thermopylae can do. The delegation followed him toward the next section, their earlier condescension completely forgotten. They had come expecting to find a primitive vessel struggling to copy advanced technology. Instead, they were discovering innovations that would make their own engineers rethink what was possible. Lieutenant Da Hai Song stood before the massive doors of the Combat Information Center, watching as the alien delegates' expressions shifted from mild interest to open surprise. The spherical chamber opened before them, a masterpiece of human engineering that filled 3 decks of the Thermopylae. Holographic displays floated in the air, creating a 3-dimensional web of information that pulsed with life. "Welcome to the heart of our operations," Da Hai said, stepping into the chamber. The delegates followed, their iridescent skin reflecting the soft blue glow of the displays. The room's central platform rose slightly above the main floor, giving a clear view of all systems simultaneously. Engineer Specialist Trell moved immediately to one of the nearest displays, their 4 eyes blinking rapidly as they processed the information flowing across the screen. The data streams showed ship movements, weapon status, and sensor readings, all updating in real time with a speed that seemed to defy the aliens' expectations. "These reaction times," Trell said, their skin shifting to a deep purple of concentration. "They're processing tactical data faster than our most advanced battle computers. How is this possible from a species at your development level?" Da Hai walked to the central platform, where a large holographic representation of the local space floated. With a gesture, she expanded the display, showing the complex web of calculations happening beneath the surface. "We took a different approach to information processing. Instead of relying solely on computer systems or human operators, we created a true partnership between the two." Ambassador Kell stepped closer, studying the flowing data with increasing interest. "Explain this partnership. How does it function?" Da Hai touched another control, and new displays sprang to life around them. Human brains are remarkably good at pattern recognition and intuitive decision-making. Our AI systems excel at processing vast amounts of data and performing complex calculations. We found a way to combine these strengths. The demonstration continued as Da Hai showed how human operators could interact with the system using both traditional controls and direct neural interfaces. The aliens watched as she ran a simulation, her thoughts and the AI's processes working in perfect harmony to respond to a complex tactical scenario. "Remarkable," Trell murmured, their skin now showing patterns of deep respect. "The system actually anticipates probable outcomes based on human intuition, then provides relevant data to support or correct those instincts." One of the younger delegates raised their hand, pointing to another display. "These prediction algorithms, they're unlike anything in our databases. They seem to operate on multiple levels simultaneously." Da Hai nodded, bringing up a more detailed view of the system's architecture. "That's because they're not just algorithms. We've created a true learning system that adapts to each operator's thought patterns. The more they work together, the more efficient the partnership becomes." Ambassador Kell moved to the central platform, their tall form casting shadows through the holographic displays. "Your species has taken concepts that we considered well understood and transformed them into something entirely new. This is not mere technological advancement. It's innovation on a fundamental level. The room's displays shifted again, showing how the system could track and analyze thousands of variables simultaneously while still remaining responsive to human input. Each operator's station was connected to the central system but maintained its own unique interface tailored to the individual user. "Here's something interesting," Dahai said, bringing up a new simulation. "Watch how the system handles multiple potential threats." The holographic display filled with dozens of contact points, each one representing a possible danger to the ship. The aliens watched in fascination as the system sorted through the threats, prioritizing them based on a complex mixture of AI analysis and human judgment. The response times were so fast that several of the delegates made sounds of disbelief. This level of integration. Trell began, then paused, searching for words. We had not thought it possible to merge organic and artificial intelligence so seamlessly. Dahai allowed herself a small smile. Humans have always been good at finding connections others might miss. We don't see technology as something separate from ourselves. It's an extension of human capability. The demonstration continued, showing more and more capabilities that challenged the aliens' preconceptions about human technology. Each new revelation seemed to increase their respect for what humanity had achieved in such a short time. "Lieutenant," Ambassador Kell said finally, their voice carrying a new note of respect, "I believe we may have significantly underestimated your species' potential. This system represents an entirely new approach to space combat operations." Dahai inclined her head slightly in acknowledgement. "We still have much to learn from the galactic community," she said diplomatically. "But we hope our innovations might contribute something valuable to shared knowledge." The delegates continued to study the displays, their earlier condescension completely forgotten. They had come expecting to find a primitive combat system copying older designs. Instead, they were discovering something that would make their own military planners reconsider what was possible. The first warning came as a subtle disturbance in the fabric of space. The Thermopyla's sensors detected the hyperspace ripple moments before a massive warship tore through into normal space, its weapons already charging. The stolen hegemony vessel's distinctive profile was unmistakable. A feared pirate group had been using it to raid shipping lanes across 3 sectors. Captain Han Bin Lee's response was immediate but collected. His voice carried clearly across the bridge without a hint of alarm. "Battle stations. All hands to combat positions. Lieutenant Suji, secure our guests in the observation deck's protected area." The alien delegates watched in stunned silence as the bridge transformed around them. Gone was the casual atmosphere of the tour. In its place, a precisely choreographed dance of military efficiency unfolded. Crew members moved to their stations with practiced ease, their motions smooth and purposeful. "Hostile vessel identified," announced Lieutenant Suji Park from her tactical station. Hegemony-class battlecruiser, modified with illegal weapon systems. They're powering up main guns. Her fingers flew across her console, bringing the Thermopyla's defensive systems online. Ambassador Kell stepped forward, their skin shifting to patterns of concern. "Captain, that vessel is one of our most advanced designs. Even a stolen version represents a serious threat. Perhaps we should attempt to contact them." The ambassador's words were cut short as the pirate ship launched its first salvo. Instead of the panic the aliens clearly expected, the human crew responded with calm precision. Han Bin's orders came in quick succession, each one executed immediately. "Evasive pattern delta. Bring up defensive screens. Engineering. I need full power to forward shields." The captain's voice remained steady, almost conversational. "Suji, plot me a firing solution that won't damage their engine core. We might want to salvage that ship later." The alien delegates were quickly but carefully escorted to the observation deck's secure area, where they had a perfect view of the unfolding battle. Their expressions showed a mixture of concern and growing fascination as they watched the human crew in action. "Multiple incoming missiles," Sujai reported. "Countermeasures engage. Point defense systems tracking." The space around the Thermopyla lit up as the ship's defensive systems activated, creating a web of intercepting fire that caught the incoming projectiles well before they could reach their target. Commander Jai-Ho Kim's voice came through from engineering. Power systems operating at peak efficiency, Captain. They won't find any weak points in our shield coverage. The pirate vessel, clearly expecting an easy target, pressed its attack. Their next barrage was more intense, designed to overwhelm conventional defenses. But the Thermopylae was far from conventional. Fascinating, murmured technical observer Mira from the observation area. Their response times are incredible. The coordination between human and machine systems exceeds our theoretical models. The battle continued to unfold like a complex dance. The Thermopylae moved with surprising grace for a vessel its size, each maneuver precisely calculated to maximize defensive coverage while maintaining optimal firing positions. The crew worked in perfect synchronization, their actions flowing together as if they'd rehearsed this exact scenario countless times. Target their weapons systems, Hanbin ordered. Let's show them why it's unwise to attack a Earth vessel during a diplomatic tour. There was just a hint of satisfaction in his voice as he watched his crew execute the command. The aliens observed with increasing amazement as the Thermopylae's true capabilities began to reveal themselves. Systems that had appeared simple during their inspection now showed their true sophistication. The ship's defensive screens shrugged off attacks that should have caused serious damage, while its targeting computers achieved accuracy that the delegates had previously thought impossible. Their shield harmonics are fluctuating, Sujai reported. They're trying to adapt to our weapon frequencies, but our AI is cycling faster than their systems can compensate. The pirate vessel's attacks became increasingly desperate as its crew realized they had severely underestimated their target. Each attempt to find a weakness in the Thermopylae's defenses was met with a precise and effective counter. "This is remarkable," Ambassador Kell said quietly to their fellow delegates. "The humans aren't just fighting effectively. They're controlling the entire flow of battle. Every move they make is forcing their opponent to react exactly as they want." The end came swiftly. A precisely calculated series of shots from the Thermopylae disabled the pirate ship's primary weapons and propulsion systems, leaving it drifting helplessly in space. The entire engagement had lasted less than 10 minutes. "Target neutralized," Suji announced. "Their weapons and engines are offline, hull integrity at 82%. They're not going anywhere." Hanbin nodded, finally allowing himself a small smile. "Send word to the nearest patrol. They can handle the cleanup." He turned to the alien delegates who were returning to the bridge. "My apologies for the interruption to our tour. Shall we continue?" The delegates exchanged glances, their skin patterns showing expressions of deep respect and renewed interest. They had just witnessed something that would fundamentally change how the Galactic Council viewed humanity's military capabilities. The pirate vessel loomed in the view screen, its weapons blazing in what its crew must have thought would be an overwhelming attack. Their intelligence had classified the Thermopylae as a diplomatic vessel, lightly armed and easy prey. They were about to learn how wrong that assessment had been. Lieutenant Suji Park's fingers danced across her tactical console, her movements precise and confident. "Multiple targeting solutions acquired, Captain. All weapon systems ready. Kinetic barriers at full power and holding steady." The holographic displays around her station showed dozens of potential firing solutions, each one calculated to disable rather than destroy. Captain Hanbin Lee stood calmly at the center of the bridge, watching as his crew executed their duties with practiced efficiency. "Show them what this ship can really do, Lieutenant. Begin implementation of combat pattern Epsilon." The Thermopylae responded instantly, its massive bulk moving with impossible grace. The alien delegates gasped as the battleship performed maneuvers that should have torn apart a vessel of its size. The inertial dampeners they had dismissed as primitive during their inspection now revealed their true sophistication. "Remarkable," technical observer Mira whispered, their skin shifting through patterns of amazement. "They've completely rewritten the standard equations for mass compensation. The energy requirements alone should be. Their words trailed off as the Thermopila's main weapons engaged for the first time. Streams of concentrated energy lanced out, each shot precisely calibrated to disable specific systems on the pirate vessel. The accuracy was beyond anything the aliens had seen before. Target's forward shields failing, Sujai reported. Their weapon systems are showing power fluctuations. They're trying to adapt, but our targeting AI is predicting and countering their every move. Ambassador Kell moved closer to the main view screen, their four eyes wide with astonishment. Your weapons, they're bypassing shield harmonics that should be impenetrable. How is this possible? Commander Jai-Ho Kim's voice came through from engineering. Power systems performing perfectly, Captain. The new crystal matrix is handling the load exactly as designed. The pirates attempted to return fire, but the Thermopylae was already moving again, executing a series of turns and rolls that made their shots pass harmlessly through empty space. Each movement of the Earth vessel was perfectly calculated, combining human intuition with machine precision in ways the alien observers had never thought possible. Their targeting systems can't keep up with our maneuvers, Sujay said, a note of pride in her voice. Permission to demonstrate the new point defense grid, Captain. Han Bin nodded, and the space around the Thermopylae lit up with a web of intercepting fire. Every missile and energy bolt from the pirate ship was met and neutralized before it could come close to the hull. The defense system moved faster than thought, its responses guided by the ship's hybrid human-eye control systems. This level of integration, Engineer Specialist Trell muttered, their skin showing patterns of deep concentration. The response times we're seeing shouldn't be possible with known technology. The Thermopyla's next series of maneuvers took it directly through the pirate ship's firing arc, a move that seemed suicidal until the delegates saw what happened next. The Earth vessel's shields absorbed the enemy fire without strain, while its own weapons struck with surgical precision. Target's main reactor is showing signs of instability, Sujai reported. Their shield generators are offline. One more pass should disable them completely without risking their core. Han Bin stepped forward, his voice carrying clearly across the bridge. Show them why Earth vessels are not to be taken lightly, Lieutenant. Execute final attack pattern. The Thermopyla's movement became even more impressive, its massive form spinning and weaving through space in ways that defied conventional physics. The alien delegates watched in stunned silence as the ship performed maneuvers they had previously thought impossible. Energy levels holding steady, Jai-Ho reported from engineering. All systems responding perfectly. We can maintain this output as long as needed. The final exchange lasted only seconds. The Thermopyla's weapons fired in a perfectly coordinated pattern, each shot striking exactly where intended. The pirate vessel's remaining systems went dark, leaving it drifting helplessly in space. Ambassador Kell turned to Captain Han Bin, their skin showing patterns of deep respect. Captain, I believe we owe you and your species an apology. We severely underestimated both your technological capabilities and your tactical prowess. Han Bin smiled slightly. No apology needed, Ambassador. We understand that humanity's youth among the stars leads to certain assumptions. We're just pleased to have the opportunity to demonstrate what we can really do. The bridge crew returned to their normal duties, the excitement of combat replaced by professional efficiency. But the alien delegates continued to study everything with new eyes, finally seeing the true sophistication hidden beneath the Thermopyla's seemingly simple exterior. The ship they had dismissed as primitive had just revealed itself to be one of the most advanced vessels they had ever encountered. And somehow, they suspected they still hadn't seen everything the Thermopylae could do. The observation deck of the Thermopylae offered a perfect view of the disabled pirate vessel drifting in space. Ambassador Kell stood with Captain Han Bin Lee, watching as patrol ships moved in to secure the criminal craft. The ambassador's skin rippled with patterns of deep thought as they considered everything they had witnessed. Captain, Kell said finally, I must be direct. Your ship's performance during that engagement exceeded all known parameters. The level of integration between systems, the response times, the efficiency, none of it matches our understanding of current human capabilities. Han Bin gazed out at the stars, a slight smile playing at the corners of his mouth. Humans have always been students of history, Ambassador. When we reached the stars, we became students of the galaxy. Every species we encountered had something to teach us. Technical observer Mira joined them, their data pad displaying complex readings from the recent battle. The energy output alone should have overloaded your systems, yet your power grid handled it without strain. How is this possible? We noticed something interesting when studying different alien technologies, Han Bin explained. Each species tends to develop technology that matches their way of thinking. But by combining these different approaches, we often found unexpected synergies. The other delegates gathered around, their earlier condescension replaced by genuine curiosity. Engineer specialist Trell pulled up holographic displays showing the Thermopyla's performance data from the battle. "Look at these readings," Trell said, pointing to several key metrics. "They've somehow managed to merge Centaurian power systems with Rigelian shield technology, but they've added something else, something we've never seen before." Han Bin nodded. "Human innovation. We don't just copy technologies. We study them, understand their principles, and then find new ways to make them work together. Sometimes the whole becomes greater than the sum of its parts." Lieutenant Suja Park approached with fresh tactical readings, adding her expertise to the discussion. "Our combat systems use a similar philosophy. We combined the best elements of various alien targeting systems, then integrated them with human intuition through our AI interfaces." The delegates conferred among themselves, their skin patterns shifting through colors that indicated deep appreciation and respect. Ambassador Kell turned back to Han Bin, their voice carrying a new note of admiration. "In all our years of space exploration, we've never encountered a species that adapted so quickly or so creatively to new technologies. Most young races struggle for centuries just to master basic principles." Han Bin gestured to the various crew members working around them. "Humans have always been curious, Ambassador. We ask questions. We experiment. Sometimes we fail, but we learn from those failures. And we're not afraid to think differently about old problems." Commander Jai-Ho Kim joined them from engineering, bringing up detailed schematics of the ship's power systems. The aliens gathered around, their expressions showing increasing understanding as Jai-Ho explained how human engineers had reimagined fundamental principles of space technology. "See here," Jai-Ho said, pointing to a particular system. "We realized that the traditional approach to power distribution was based on assumptions that didn't necessarily apply to human needs, so we tried something new." The delegates studied the schematics with growing interest. What they had initially dismissed as primitive now revealed itself to be elegantly sophisticated. The Thermopyla wasn't just a warship, it was a testament to human ingenuity. "Your species has achieved in decades what took others centuries," Mira observed. "The Council will need to seriously reconsider its assessment of human technological capabilities." Han Bin shared a knowing look with his crew. "We hope this demonstration helps build trust between humanity and the Council. We have much to offer each other." The conversation continued as the delegates explored more aspects of the ship's design. Each new revelation seemed to increase their respect for human achievement. Questions that had begun as skeptical became genuinely curious, seeking to understand the unique human perspective on technology. "There's one thing I still don't understand," Ambassador Kell said finally. "Why hide your true capabilities behind such a modest exterior? Why not display your achievements more openly?" Han Bin's smile widened slightly. "Another human trait, Ambassador. We've learned that it's sometimes better to be underestimated. Though I hope today's events have shown that we're ready for a more equal partnership with the galactic community." The delegates nodded in agreement, their skin patterns showing clear patterns of respect and newfound understanding. The Thermopyla had done more than defend itself. It had opened new possibilities for human-alien cooperation. As they watched the patrol ships complete their work, the future seemed to hold great promise. Humanity had proven itself not just capable, but innovative in ways that could benefit the entire galaxy. The age of underestimating Earth's potential was over. The final day of the diplomatic tour found the Thermopyla's main hangar bay transformed for the farewell ceremony. The massive space gleamed under carefully adjusted lighting, highlighting the ship's impressive architecture while maintaining a welcoming atmosphere. Captain Hanbin Lee stood with his senior officers as the alien delegation prepared to depart. Ambassador Kell stepped forward, their iridescent skin displaying patterns of deep respect and anticipation. Captain, this inspection has changed everything we thought we knew about human capabilities. Your ship and crew have demonstrated levels of innovation that we never expected from such a young species. The other delegates nodded in agreement, their own skin patterns showing similar appreciation. Technical observer Mira consulted their datapad one final time, still fascinated by the readings they had collected during their stay. The Council will receive our full report within the day, Kell continued. We will strongly recommend establishing new technological exchange programs between Earth and our member worlds. Your unique approach to integration and development could benefit us all. Han Bin bowed slightly in acknowledgement. We look forward to sharing knowledge and working together for the betterment of all species. His words were diplomatic, but there was genuine warmth in his voice. Lieutenant Suji Park stood at attention nearby, remembering the delegates' initial dismissive attitudes just days ago. Now those same aliens were looking at the human crew with genuine respect and curiosity. Commander Jeho Kim stepped forward, presenting the delegates with a data crystal. We've prepared detailed documentation on some of our basic integration techniques. Consider it a gesture of good faith for future cooperation. The aliens accepted the crystal with evident enthusiasm. What had begun as a routine inspection had evolved into something far more significant, the beginning of a true partnership between Earth and the galactic community. Your handling of the pirate incident was particularly impressive, Engineer Specialist Trell noted. The combat data alone will revolutionize our understanding of ship design and tactical response systems. The mention of the battle brought proud smiles to the faces of the crew. That unexpected engagement had done more to demonstrate human capabilities than any planned demonstration could have achieved. Ambassador Kell raised their hands in the traditional gesture of respect. When we first arrived, we saw only what we expected to see. A young species struggling to match more advanced civilizations. We were wrong. You have shown us that humanity brings its own unique strengths to the galaxy. The farewell ceremony continued with the exchange of formal diplomatic protocols, but there was a new warmth in the interactions. The barriers of age and experience that had initially separated humans and aliens had been replaced by mutual respect and understanding. As the delegates prepared to board their transport, Captain Hanbin looked around at his crew. Each member of the Thermopyla's team had contributed to this success, showing the galaxy that humanity's worth couldn't be measured simply in years of space travel. The Council looks forward to learning more about human innovation, Kell said as they prepared to depart. Your species has proven that new perspectives can lead to extraordinary advances. This meeting marks the beginning of a new era in galactic cooperation. The transport ship hummed to life, its systems engaging with sophisticated alien precision. But now everyone present knew that human technology could match and even exceed such capabilities in unexpected ways. Hanbin watched as the alien vessel departed, carrying with it news that would change humanity's place in the galactic community. The Thermopyla had done more than prove human capabilities. It had opened doors that would benefit both humanity and their alien neighbors. Behind him, the crew was already returning to their duties. There would be more challenges ahead, more opportunities to show what humans could achieve. But they had accomplished something remarkable. They had earned true respect among the stars. As the transport disappeared into hyperspace, Hanbin smiled. This was just the beginning. Humanity's journey among the stars was entering a new phase, one of equal partnership and shared discovery. The future held endless possibilities, and the crew of the Thermopylae was ready to explore them all. The massive battleship hung in space, its systems humming with power that the galaxy was only now beginning to understand. Earth's future among the stars looked brighter than ever, thanks to the dedication of its people and their unique ability to see new possibilities in everything they encountered. This was humanity's moment, and they had proved themselves more than ready for it. The stars beckoned, and Earth's children were ready to answer their call as true partners in the galactic community.